right.
Oh, that's what happened. You got pulled.
There we go. All right, and Twitch says we're live.
Let us know when you can see and hear us, folks.
Yep. All right. Mew, you're leading this show.
Oh boy.
You with Neil. Woo!
Why are you not? Let me mute that. Are you not?
What is it not muting?
Let me mute that. You don't hear.
Oh, I just heard the echo. Yeah.
You don't hear. It's literally not letting me. Okay, I think it stopped.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. Yeah, I think
acting like I'm pressing a key or something. No, okay, now we're back to normal. Okay.
There we go. Just for Max.
Bet you didn't see this coming. 1 second, I am full screen.
Yay! And Lucy says no more echo. So, all right.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yep. I am bringing up the chat room over here. So I can pay somewhat attention to them. Hi, chat room.
We'll turn this whole Discord around.
Fun.
Yeah.
There's an imposter among us.
Yeah.
So
Take
sus.
it out unless you're fighting somebody.
Right, I know. The Star Wars officers tend to misbehave with that's on board. Good to know.
All right.
Some of the officers do too.
Yeah.
I am reporting to the notes.
All
Reporting
right.
to the notes.
Do I have a soundboard? Yes. Okay, good. So whenever you are ready, Mew.
So why am I saying F?
Oh,
Because
there we go.
misread something, that's what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
F for Gusty's camera. Anyway.
F in
Yep,
chat.
there we go.
Yep, it's just spinning and spinning, but that's fine.
Please get on my lap.
That's for Cam to do.
Yeah, it says Mew, you're a little loud on the mic, according to Max.
Am I? I don't know. I'm like not even on top of it like I usually am, but okay.
All right.
Getting down.
Let's see.
Have you depuppied yourself, Heather?
Yeah, gotta make sure he's gonna be good.
Okay.
I can turn myself down maybe to 90%. How does that sound?
No, it sounds good to me. Yeah, you're 100% on mine. Okay.
Oh, let me make sure that it did not change where my mic is coming out of. No, it says broadcast stream mix. So yeah, it should be coming right out of here. You should hear me like really good right here.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Now you sound good.
Okay.
All
right. All right. We shall start at 7:07 in 5, 4, 3, 2 on this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Gotta kill them all. Wait, that can't be right. Let me check my notes. Yeah, it's right.
Seeds of Renewal breathes new life into the world we love.
Follow the Goldberg Road. Follow the Goldberg Road.
Happy anniversary to STO.
And we have Gusty here to talk about AIE in World of Warcraft.
All that and more coming up right about now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And welcome to episode 415 of the podcast celebrating you, the Lady Eacta-esque gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Mewcow. Greetings, Guildays. And to my virtual right, or left, or up, or down is Makala.
Hey, folks, there's a mocha java cake in the guild kitchen.
Yay!
And to her right and downstairs is Tetsemi.
I have fired up my Final Fantasy XIV spreadsheets again. You have been warned.
And of course, we are joined by special guest Gusty Tail, who is here to talk to us about AIE and what they're up to in World of Warcraft. So, welcome.
Thank you. Did you need more than that?
Nope.
No. All right, we will be. 1 second. Not sure what that's about.
The cedar.
But it's. So say, it's, when we talk about real life, yes, the cedar has asserted itself, and it's not fun.
It is not your friend.
So that I can get a drink, why don't we go around the room and see what everyone's been up to, starting with Makala.
Oh, okay. So, the normal work, of course. Let's see. In our Thursday night game, which is actually played with some of the folks in the WoW Guild, local folks like Kenny and her husband, Elkarth? Yeah, Elkarth. We fought an iron golem and it sucked.
We defeated it.
We did defeat it. It was really useful because it can only be bought by magic. For the most part, you could do it also with weapons with pluses. And now the dog wants out. But unfortunately, not everyone had magical weapons. At least I didn't think I had a magical weapon until I found a dagger on my character sheet. So that was great, but it was a room filled with wild magic. So all of our casters, wild magic went off constantly, which was pretty much half the battle.
So did you try switching the golem from suck to blow?
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, though. It definitely, that would have been a good idea. And we've had a really exciting time in Star Wars. As in the last session, it was a 4.5-hour battle. And it wasn't over. It continued to this week's session. So basically, we've been dealing with this cult of dark side users. They're being controlled by something called the Dark Star. The head of the cult is one of the character's brothers, who is believed to have been dead. It's my character's wife, whose brother is in charge of it. They had an epic duel themselves. It was a draw. He got away. We're still on this planet. We had to deal with his second in command, who's basically like a Darth Vader equivalent bad guy. We had, amongst all of that, he had some acolytes we had to take out. We had some Gungan mercenaries. At the end of the last session, a huge lat appeared with 2 battle droids and gunners, and it was a good time until the beginning of this session, where, well, you ever throw a lat at somebody's face?
Landing vehicle.
Yeah. However, now, I would like to say this is not what pushed that character to the dark side. But by the end of the session, so with the Star Wars FFG Final Fantasy game, I always Fantasy Flight games. I always say Final Fantasy games. I blame you, Mew.
Yeah. Well.
So your normal in the middle is if you're above 30 or below 70, you're just a regular standard Force user. And then if you get below 30, morality is you're a dark side user. If you're above 70, you're a light side user, and you get certain things for either way. It's harder to use the other pips. So, because when you roll the Force, you get light side pips or dark side pips. So V, the character, and she is, you're just this huge, phenomenal, Force using warrior. After she had to calm the dark side to throw that lat, she was at 31 morality. But at the end of the session, we rolled to see if we went up or down on the morality scale. You roll a 10-sider, and you have a certain target number. If you're below that target number, you lose morality. If you're above that target number, you gain morality. But because of all the powers she used in this battle, her target number was 23.
It's hard to get
On a
23
scale
on
of
a 10.
1 to 10. Right. So she rolled really high. She rolled 8. So she only lost 15 points.
Yeah.
Right. But you're at 30. You're at 31. So yeah, she is now a dark side user. Now it's going to be a fun redemption arc to get her back. Oh, and by the way, we're dealing with, we just got to a planet where the entire Chimera fleet is, and there's a Stargate where they're probably bringing in some horrible thing from beyond another world.
Like one does.
Like one does. I would like to state, though, that my character, who famously rolls poorly with morality checks, I even am reducing part of my force so I can stay in the light. So I get a 1d4 whenever we do a morality check. Like the last time we did this, I did great. My target number was 2. I rolled a 1.
Oh.
And my 1d4 rolled a 1. So I had a net 0, and this is not the first time this has happened to me, the character. So I would like to state, though, that my target number was 2, I rolled an 8, and then I rolled a 3. So I actually gained 9 morality, which almost never happens.
Yay!
It was very bittersweet. So that's I mean, honestly, if we went over everything in gaming, this would be an hour-long show, just me wrapping up my games of the week. So
Accurate.
I'm going to let you deal with the Call of Cthulhu game.
Okay.
Right. Well, why don't we go with Gusty and see what she's been doing? Give everyone a chance to take a break, and then we'll go to Tets after.
All right. Well, I had a D&D session yesterday with Zankidia and her husband, who's Karatis in that campaign. He uses a lot of different names. And we're much earlier on. We're only level 6. So we were trying to we've been going around trying to inform various different towns and places that there's been a dragon sighted in the area and they should be careful. And we found these gnomes who were super paranoid about everything hunkered down, and we were just trying to find their leader to deliver this message so we could leave.
Right.
And our biggest difficulty, we ran into a mimic that was posing as an ale cask. There was a room full of those, so that was actually the previous session. Yeah, so we broke all the casks and killed one mimic and then kept going. And then our biggest problem was not the mimic, it was to get across this bridge that was a rope bridge that was wet. It was next to a waterfall.
Right.
And so my character, was super careful. He's got tons of dex. He's a bard, and he failed and went sliding off into the water 20 feet. Managed to get out, was okay with that. And then Karatis comes in. He's a Goliath barbarian, and everyone's like, all right, I've got fly, okay? And he's like, no, I got this. And he just sails right across it.
That's awesome.
So
I can hear John doing this too.
Yep, and yeah, he's always like, no, I got this. So
nice.
Yeah, so we all laughed really hard, and then went on, just did our things. It was a fun session. We always have a good time. And also, happy days for me today. Girl Scout cookies arrived. Yay!
What'd you order?
And Thin Mints, of course, and they had some new, I forget what it was exactly called, but it's got like little not chocolate chips. They're like, hold on.
Toffee chips?
Coffee, yeah, something like that. It was some little chips, and they were good. Not as good as the Thin Mints. The boxes get smaller every year, I swear.
They do. The good thing about those Thin Mints, though, is they stay for a long time in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly do. Although one box was taken back to the dorm today by my kid.
They're going to the dorm. That's allowed.
Yep. Luckily, I got 4, so the other 3 are staying here.
Awesome.
And I'll be going to a wedding in March for my nephew and his fiance, which is going to be really fun. And this week I took my tree down.
Good for you. Thanks for mentioning things that make me really anxious.
So I shouldn't talk about how I just took mine down?
If it's not down by the 12th night, you can't take it down till Candlemas, people. Anyways.
Oh, there you go. Well, this year I finally gave up and got an artificial one. I've always gotten real trees, but just the cost and everything else.
It's
weirdly
honestly,
in Maine, they were expensive.
You pay that big cost just the once for the artificial, and you're good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got rid of our big tree, or we stopped getting a real tree the morning of our Yule party. We'd walk downstairs and the tree was on the floor and had broken multiple family heirlooms.
Wouldn't have anything to
like,
do with
you know
this
what?
black cat that's on my desk, would it?
No, that was not that. No, that was when he got into the tree when he was a baby in the middle of furt raid, and I had to go get him out, and he scratched up my shirt. That was Kirby, honey.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That happened in 1999.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Seared in the memory.
Yep.
So yeah, it worked. The tree fit much better in my apartment and was really a better experience. And I didn't have to worry about taking it down in any hurry. So I kind of enjoyed the whole experience.
That's awesome.
That's about it.
Okay, and then let's see what's going on with Tets.
So, not a lot of gaming other than Final Fantasy XIV. But kind of with the patch coming out, I set aside my Cyberpunk run, and that's what I had been focusing on, was a lot of Cyberpunk and just doing the island in Final Fantasy XIV. But now the patch came out, I had an allied tribal quest to complete. I had to start on the new relic weapon, which I found out it was actually 2 behind. So I just finished the previous patch's relic weapon, and now I'm collecting the stuff for the current relic weapon. So I go through all the Manderville quests and finished off the 12 gods instances, got that all completed. So I think I'm pretty much caught up on all the patch stuff. I'm sure I'm missing something, but I'll stumble across it later and go, why didn't they tell me earlier? But that's normal for Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, and I found I don't know if it's new this patch or a previous patch and I just missed it, but the custom deliveries for not Old Charlian, but the Labyrinthios. So I started on those.
That might be newer.
Magret is the researcher. So yeah, I just did that. But
maybe that is a little older. Yeah,
it could be. Yeah, but in pen and paper, we had really good D&D session, as McCullough said. But we had a really interesting Call of Cthulhu session. Yeah, we have once again denied Heather's character tea and a warm bath, both in the same night, while rubbing it in her face because the other characters got tea and a warm bath. So
a warm bath.
Yep. The problem is she checks into this fancy hotel where everything is not available after hours, as opposed to staying at the boarding house where Mother Murphy will do anything for you at any time of night and take care of you like one of her children.
Listen, we fought a vampire.
I was getting to that.
I know.
Yeah. So we went to the theater because we were tracking down we were tracking down a missing person, and we figured we had freed her from the dungeon she was in, which was in this rich person's house in the basement. Freed her, and she escaped. Found out she went to visit her roommate, freaked her roommate out, killed a Pinkerton. Not us, the vampire did, or Ellie did, who we figured now is a vampire. And figured, okay, well, she's probably going to show up to the performance she's supposed to show up for because it's opening night. So we went there, and sure enough, yep, lights went out. She showed up in Victor's box, and they had a vampire fight. So my character and the doctor race up 3 flights of stairs just in time to see the two of them go over the edge 60 feet down to the floor, hit the ground, and then they both start getting up. And we're like, okay, run all the way back down. We made our con checks going up to make it up the stairs and our dex checks to get down to the floor. And I had some holy water that we had specifically crafted in one of the churches because my character is a preacher, now a preacher, and
Was a con man.
Yep. And I got my first shot in without getting hit and did a lot of damage with the holy water. And pretty much the rest of the fight was the other Ellie, the other vampire, just clawing the crap out of the vampire and weakening him to where Talia staked him, basically. Drove the stake right through his back into his heart and killed him. And then she took off, and we're like, should we go after her? Should we make sure the theater's okay? We made sure the theater was okay. Talia chased after her, found out basically the direction she was heading was back to Victor's mansion. So we made sure everyone was okay and ran towards the mansion. And by the time we got there, it was fully engulfed. And
On fire.
Yeah, it was just a disaster. And so we joined the bucket brigade, as exhausted as we were, and tried to contain the fire so it didn't spread to the rest of the town. And then once we were done with that, covered in ash and soot, we returned to our respective places we were staying.
That's where I could get to your back.
Found one of the maids that worked at the mansion, who's now out of work because she lived at the mansion. So we took pity on her and took her back, got her a room at the saloon where our doctor was staying and Talia was staying, and got them taken care of, got her taken care of. The doctor came with me to the boarding house. We got hot baths and cleaned up and tea, and Heather's character and Talia then went back to the hotel and had a cold bath and no tea. So
My character is a very spoiled Bostonian girl who only stays at the best hotel.
but apparently they don't take care of their clientele as well as they should.
Right?
So I'm
they're,
sure.
they're real tired of me coming in looking like hell.
So you've
Just
come
like
in
smelling
covered
like
in
smoke.
covered in sewage, covered in mud and trail dust, covered in now
Mhm.
ash from from putting out the fire. Yeah, it's just not been a good
Yeah,
time.
at least I didn't get come and covered in blood because I was getting people out of the theater.
Yeah, but miraculously the fight went much because Down Darker Trails in Call of Cthulhu is supposed to be a very combat heavy, very deadly system.
Yeah, if
and
you get into combat, there's a good chance that it's going to be
somebody's
rough.
and we avoided. I got hit once, but it was just a punch in a reaction to an attack as opposed to a bite or a claw. I just got the wind knocked out of me, and the same thing with Talia's character as well. So yeah, we had fun. We took the vampire down.
Felt like big damn heroes.
Yep. And now we have to figure out, was he actually the one in charge of the coven, or is there another vampire, which we think there's another vampire. So
I'll be talking.
There's
to them.
always another vampire.
yeah.
Yeah,
But we did-
I'll be talking to the ghost and find out.
Yeah, but we did stake him and as far as we can tell, he's gone. So this one's gone. We'll find the other one. But that's what I've been up to. What about you, Mew?
Let's see. Real World just spent most of today scrambling around the house and doing purge stuff. So that was fun.
I hope by that you mean purging things and not the purge.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Well, you're inside a house. You have to do the purge outside of your house.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we actually took the step of hiring a couple of people to help us with just purging and tidying things. So off and on for the next few weeks, we're going to have for them come through and basically just give us the nudge. Yes, you really should get rid of that thing. Why have you been holding on to it? Yes, you should do this and that.
We all need that.
So, yeah, we managed to work on one whole room. So the game room now looks like a game room. It's not a place where there are piles of things and the doorstep of this is going to go to Goodwill eventually. So yeah, because they also take care of that too. Like no, we'll take it to Goodwill because you're taking too long. So
definitely we've had those piles.
Yeah. So yeah, and then they're just gonna go from room to room to room, and it's something that we've very slowly been trying to do, but this will give us like a big huge push because we are still pondering the very likely to do the move cross country up to the northwest. So we've accumulated a lot of stuff over the 7 or 8 years we've been here. So because when we moved out here, we were in a 1-bedroom Irvine apartment. And as humans do, we tend to spread out. We spread out. Oh, there's a spot there. Let's get a thing for it, kind of thing.
Yep.
So that's part of it. But getting rid of some furniture and we could probably sell that for a few bucks. No, just donate it. Just donate. So yeah, a lot of that in the real world. It is miserably cold and wet outside. But that's winter for you. The cedar is trying to kill me as it usually does every year. For whatever reason, the cedar here is just broken. Well, cedar, juniper, whatever they want to call it. It's like a juniper or cedar off branch of juniper.
Whatever it is, it hates you.
Yes. For some reason in Texas, the trees here freak out whenever there's a cold snap, and we just had a cold snap. It actually hit below freezing. So the cedar's like, party!
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you see me over there? He doesn't like us. Let's get him.
Yep. So and this is me with allergy medicine, Dayquil, NyQuil, like all the possible things to try to help. Flonase. Yes. So yeah, it's this is like my first year getting hit with it. I thought I was dying of flu, and they were like, no, that's just cedar fever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And then let's see. Game-wise, currently working still on the heroic raid for WoW. We've managed to do 4 out of the bosses, but we're still gearing up a lot of people. It's one of those kind of things where there's still some people that need a bit more gear, and then we'll be able to survive a little better through the heroic mechanics, and then make our way all the way down. I've been waiting to do the new Final Fantasy patch this weekend, so I'll probably do that a little later. Catch up on all that fun stuff. I have also off and on been doing a bit of research into another one of the many flavors of D&D called Vampire Masquerade, and just finding all kinds of really interesting resources to research with. There's this really cool video on YouTube that I'll have to share. There's like a 2-hour introduction for someone like that is just woken up in the vampire world, and it's kind of role played. Like there's a person that's kind of like looking over you and trying to bring you up to speed on the world you just stepped into. It's really well voice acted. So yeah, I'll have to add that to the show notes. But
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a nice little introduction. There's a lot of really good resources out there, free ones. Like I haven't had to buy a book yet.
Yeah.
There's some really good PDFs out there. Just kind of just taking it all in and seeing just how in depth, like just the vampire race alone.
Oh, absolutely. There's all the different clans.
Yeah, it's just seeing. I've been fascinating watching. Like they all seem to have like a list of powers, but then they also have a list of banes. So you can't just be like a superpower that is impervious to nothing. It's like
Oh
there
yeah,
is going to be something that's going to get you.
and the Banes aren't like, oh, you can't be near silver. Some of them are, but it's they can be considerable.
Yeah. Or some of them are just annoying as, this vampire can only feed on a certain person.
Yep.
Or a certain type of person.
Certain type of person. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. This kind of vampire is really territorial. This one gets distracted by beauty.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating. Yeah. It's just fascinating, all the different clans and the offshoots and what this and that, and it's like, oh yeah, that stuff that you see in the movies about how you stake us and we die. Yeah, we just tell them that. Like, sure,
exactly. Yeah.
It hurts, and you're kind of in pain while that thing's in there, but you take it out, we're fine.
Yeah.
Like it's just funny to see, like, to also watch, because all the history stuff too, like. It's like, oh yeah, we were the cause of this. Like, you won't see that in history books, but we orchestrated that thing that happened in the real world.
Constantinople, that was us.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like the amount of depth in all the little cracks they've managed to fill in is kind of just fascinating to watch. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's really fascinating. The system is really good. The world is really good. A lot of world building goes into the World of Darkness.
Yeah. So then just kind of catching up on some of that, so
very cool.
Always hearing everyone else chattering about their D&D, so I figured I'd try to look into those worlds as well.
Absolutely.
But other than that, just the usual gaming, and amused. I saw there's a new game called Pal World or something.
Yep.
That just broke Steam concurrency records, and by seeing that, I then realized apparently Cyberpunk was the top for a long time.
It was, yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Concurrent, like, it's not even a multiplayer game, but it still was like top concurrency. It's like, wow. So they really redeemed themselves. So here's hoping Starfield can do the same.
100%.
But
yep.
Yeah, but I think that's enough out of us. You probably want to hear about you guys. So why don't we move over to the AIE news?
AIE News.
All right, in community news, we have the Nomads. Ark continues to be a fun place for the team there, with a group boss kill of the dragon planned for tonight. They're looking forward to the next DLC remastering coming in the next couple of months. Rust is spun back up, and a group in there, I can't read tonight, is trying out the new feature, including more automation and even the ability to tie notifications of in-game activities into your phone. And speaking of Pal World, it launched this week, and it's pretty hot at the moment, as Mew just told you. The pitch is Ark survival, but with Pokemon instead of dinos, except for the Pokemon have guns. There might be a private group server being spun up for this, depending on interest. Check everything out over in the Nomads channel.
And in WoW, I'm going to talk more about retail WoW a little further on, but in WoW Classic, they have successfully killed the Lich King.
Yay!
There are a number of... Yeah, congrats to you. Good job. There are still a few raid members who need the kill, so they're going to continue killing Arthas until he realizes he was wrong. Oh, wait. Until everyone has the title.
So you're telling me they're prepared?
They were prepared.
Excellent.
Arthas. They're waiting for further word on when they can, when they're going to get a cata release. Woo!
We'll see how that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Season of Discovery is going to get the next band to 40 starting on February 8th.
Yep.
Excellent.
They think.
Yep. And that'll be interesting.
So, Season of Discovery, people are talking in retail WoW so much about how they're loving that too.
Yeah. It really is an interesting take on what if it's WoW but different,
Right.
So, very
Actually,
cool.
My kid is playing WoW Ascension, which is a separate server where they just do fun things with WoW, and you can't have a WoW account on your computer when you're on WoW Ascension, or they will ban you.
Right.
Wow.
It's very serious. But he said you know those Season of Discovery things? A lot of them are in WoW Ascension already.
Yeah.
So seems like somebody's seeing what's fun and what players like and are taking elements of it to
Awesome.
integrate that possibly. Or they just randomly, figured it out themselves.
Sounds cool.
Yep.
All right. In SOTOR, the Sith with Unlimited Power Operations team is looking for a permanent member. Any role will work. SUP is on the Imperial side and meets Wednesday nights from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. No previous experience is required. And a reminder to join us for mandatory fun nights on Tuesday nights. They tend to focus on conquest / galactic seasons / story mode operations. You can usually be any character level and any level of experience. Just make sure you have your personal ship. All right.
Alrighty, over in Final Fantasy XIV news, the final stage of the Endwalker relics have arrived. So now is the time to grind all of those, whatever they're called, the causalities?
Yep.
Something.
Tombstones of Causality.
Yep, so you're going to be doing a lot of grinding, probably a lot of dungeons, because that's where you get most of them. It's 500 per piece, and it's like 3 pieces per level, and
correct.
Yeah,
yep.
It's
actually not that much grinding. I usually get a piece a day. If you run the main scenario quest, you run the leveling roulette, you run the 50, 60, 70, 80 dungeon, and you run the 90 dungeon, you get enough for 1 piece. So if you just do those 4 roulettes each day, you're good. So it's not that much of a grind. Yeah. Well, right, for 1 class.
Yeah, so those of you out there with all 90s, you're going to be busy.
Yeah.
But you finally get to see what the final stage looks like, all the shiny goodness, and you can see which classes hit or missed. So it's been interesting discussion.
Yeah.
So in about 4 to 6 weeks, when they just get it done, you'll see the final major patch, which is 6.58. It'll most likely unlock everything in preparation for Dawn Trail. Right now, in the current 5.55, there's a little breadcrumb to introduce you for Dawn Trail, but they'll give the rest of it in 5.58.
Yes.
It's also probably about the time that they're going to up the level boost stuff.
Yeah.
Usually for the pre-patch, they'll do the level boost so that you can, if you're someone that doesn't have the time but you have the money, then you can boost up a thing that you don't have the time to grind the levels on.
Yep.
So the Final Fantasy that's 14.
Yes.
Yes, that's 14 crossover event. It is happening in April, but I think is that the 11.
Yes.
The one with 11, or yes, okay. So the 11 crossover is happening in April. So that's going to be a lot of big content. I'm really curious to see how it's 11 is basically the father of 14.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see, because in the past they've only brought in like Shantoto over, and I forget what else. There was some other thing I thought they brought over, but just the little bits. So it'll be interesting to see just how much they bring over to 14, and how much those worlds are going to collide. So
yeah.
And of course, we have some lovely people working on the FC house, and they gave it a facelift inside as well as outside.
Looks amazing.
So they're looking forward to. They want you to come check it out. Please look forward to it.
I did not recognize the house when I teleported in front of it. I was like, "Am I in the front of the right?" And then went and looked and found everything. So, yeah, it's great. Also, in this patch, we got to meet the female Hrothgar. And,
yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, the breadcrumb.
Yep, and basically think golden retriever energy with a catitude.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think, and the model looks really good in game. I didn't like it as much in the pre-rendered cinematic, which is odd. Because
I agree with that.
I think the head was too small in the cinematic. Was the best I could figure out.
That, and I think the eyes had too much movement.
Yeah. But in game, they look great. So, definitely, if you like the Chitara from, oh God, Thundercats, thank you. Type model. Strong, big. I mean, I can't wait to make one as a monk. Because the animation's got to be.
That's what I hear. Everyone keeps saying that they want to see the Rothgar gals just start punching and kicking things and watch the
You want to
fly.
play a cat monk? Okay, Cam. Okay,
Yeah.
I've never heard of you doing that, so that's something. Oh wait,
Yeah, that would be the Beyond the Witchlight game we're playing. Anyway.
nice,
All right.
awesome. All right, ESO news. Cool things the guild's been doing this week. MFNs are back after the holidays break, and the Tale of Tribute tournament started on the 15th. They tried out a new trial last week due to the in-game event, so they didn't clear it, but made a good effort, and they'll try again next week. And in game news, they announced a new DLC pack in March with 2 new dungeons, followed by Gold Road, a new chapter which will be released in June. Gold Road will have a new zone, a new story, a new system called scribing, and take you to West Weald, which might be familiar to people that played Oblivion.
Ooh.
It's available for free purchase now. Sounds like we need to have Kenny on to talk about that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And in STO news, the STO anniversary event begins January 23rd. This event features a new story episode, new TFO, rewards a new starship, the Tier 6 Kitmer Alliance Rex Pilot Escort. Could we have put more description in there?
Nope.
Fleet Action Report intends to highlight this new event this coming Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Join us at Greebog's Twitch channel to experience the fun. And tomorrow, January 22nd at 10 p.m. Eastern, the Fleet Fun Night. They can help level new tunes, run TFOs, or team up for any other aspects of the game. If you need help or want to try out STO, this is your chance to run with the Fleet leaders.
Fun little game. I like when I can get lost in there and just run around and pew pew with the ships.
Yep.
Over in Lord of the Rings Online, the roadmap for 2024 is out, and it looks great. So says our folks in Lord of the Rings Online.
Mm-hmm.
Some hype of a lot of things planned for this year. Coming soon is the new 3- and 6-man instances. That's interesting numbers.
Yeah.
With the new raid to follow soon after. The letter is posted in the Lord of the Rings channel if you want to take a look. The Ill Omens skirmish event is still going on through January 31st, so you got 10 days to do that. But yeah, 3- and 6-man instances. Cause,
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice.
As Final Fantasy does 4 and 8.
Yeah.
And then WoW does 5, 10, and 25.
Yeah.
So, or 20 actually. 20,
What does
20,
Guild
then
Wars
25.
do?
That's a good question. I think it's. I always just remember there's just a mob of people running around.
Okay,
So.
yeah. And I think ESO is 4.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
3 and 6. Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if that's just due to population choices or
Just
what.
their instances are geared that way.
Yeah.
It's just the way they think. Kind of like how WoW has the little, what do they call it for the next expansion?
Oh.
It's not instant.
Yeah,
But,
no, I know what you're talking about. The scenarios in WoW were 3-person.
Yeah.
Pandaria.
Pandaria scenarios.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, since we're talking about WoW stuff, why don't we get back to that and ask Gusty what's finding out in WoW retail?
All right. Well, last night we did our 3rd Noob Mythic event, which is a new thing that we're doing right before Noob Raid to help players who are, new Mythic Plus dungeons are a thing that are, progressively harder dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do a certain number, you get an extra piece of gear in the weekly Vault of Disappointment. So it's really important for end game content, but a lot of people find it hard or scary or daunting to do them. So we're just trying to help people do low level ones and to be less scared, but who've heard of them, would like to do it. We have a nice mix of people who are experienced helping to make sure that it goes well. And this was just the 3rd time we've done it, and we had 2 groups and had a good time. In WoW itself, patch 10.2.5, Seeds of Renewal, dropped on Tuesday, and it brought a lot of new content. There's no new raid, as Dragonflight, as the expansion, winds down. Players can now visit the new Night Elf capital, Bel Ameth, that is being built in the newly released World Tree Amirdrasil, which is what we keep from getting destroyed in the current raid. And there's a really beautiful cinematic where Tyrande and Malfurion get reunited. So people were wondering if he was going to come back. He was transferred over to the Shadowlands as in a trade exchange student thing. So she's back there with Chandris, and then she just looks up and he's off in the distance, and she goes tearing across the screen and they just swing around each other and have this beautiful kiss, which I think is like the first genuine kiss in WoW. And it's just darling, and it's lovely to see Tyrande being happy about anything, frankly.
Right,
She's usually just angry all the time. And then there's also an event, Reclaiming Gilneas, which is a quest that you do with King Greymane and his daughter Tess, and Lillian Voss, which she's an undead and again is not okay with that, but she is her usual fantastic self. I swear Lillian is one of my favorite new characters. A lot of the original classic characters are getting retired, and that bugs the heck out of me, but at least they're not killing them anymore. And I don't feel like any of the new characters except Lillian really have that punch of the original folks. And she's, you agreed?
Yeah. It's interesting because it's kind of like they took Sylvanas and they split her into Lillian and Kalia.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I do not like Kelly. I don't detest her anymore, but she's just a Mary Sue, and I don't enjoy her. And Lillian just.
Well, that's just it. They took the Mary Sue out of Sylvanas and threw that at Kalia, and what was left was Lillian.
Yeah, and I love Sylvanas still, and I enjoy Lillian. She's just unstoppable. She makes bad decisions sometimes, but she recognizes it. Exactly, and her heart is always in the right place. And then visiting both Bel Ameth and completing the Gilneas quests give you transmog, which is lovely. There's an update to the. It looks a lot like a better version of the Worgen heritage armor, only it's got some beautiful roses on it. Does it
have a better hat? Because the hat always bugged me on the Worgen transmog.
It fits better. It's an updated hat. And it's nicer, and it looks good on Gusty at least. And the Worgen also give you a gray fox mount, which it's weird Worgen riding a fox, but I like the fox mount anyway.
And from what I saw, there's 12 pieces of new transmog in Bel Ameth if you hunt around.
Right, you find them like you're stealing their stuff.
Yeah, you're just like, what's this lying over here? Oh, I guess it's mine now.
Yeah, it's not like you don't complete a quest or anything. You just can see things lying on a table and like in every different room, and you just take it and nobody says anything.
Pocket it and wander off.
Like all good WoW players do.
You just save their tree, so like we'll overlook that. What's the hero doing? Yeah, don't watch. Just
they're
watch.
building everything. The other thing, I joked about fire mages not being allowed to visit, and in fact, you cannot go in. They will force you to respec if you are a fire mage.
That's great. Funny. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
I haven't personally tested it yet, but I'm so amused.
And I do know that when Horde visit, they have a debuff that says you're being watched constantly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And yet I can still steal stuff, so they clearly don't mind. They're like, yeah, here, take our stuff. It looks great.
They're taking our junk. Do we say anything? No, let them take it.
Yeah, that's it. We're like your people that are looking for the stuff you don't need in your house anymore.
Yep. Purge. Gotta purge. We gotta purge that. Oh, the hero's taking it off.
We're gonna help that. It's beautiful night elf looking stuff, which is cool. Then some new things that have just come out. I've been testing out follower dungeons. They are pretty fun. It's very simple, and so it just allows you to maybe try out a new spec, or you can level them, although it doesn't give great um,
Yeah, they want you
XP
to be
or
with
gear.
real humans to level. Yeah.
They do, but it's just if you're unsure of stuff and want to test it out, you can go in. So Gusty did a tanky spec, and everything went well. People survived.
Great.
Yeah,
And
it
you
was
you
incredible.
can do the dungeon quests alone too. So that's like like if you're like me and have 15 dungeon quests that you've long since out leveled, so you just didn't finish them. Well, now you can do it alone. You can grab the followers and then finish the dungeon quests. But yeah, you
I
will get a lot of
did not.
experience.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So, that's awesome. That's a very good, useful thing for them. I also like that the NPCs are NPCs from the new starting zone,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so they're all fun.
Yeah.
Captain Garrick, she's great. If she's going to be your tank.
And the neat thing is while you're in the dungeon, you can change your spec, and the characters will switch accordingly.
Yep. It's really nicely well organized and easy to use. They use. Some people complained that they didn't just go in and pull everything, but they actually, like, if you have someone else leading you, which you can do, you can be in the lead or you can hand it off. They will be careful to go around mobs and stuff.
If you are the
yeah.
healer and they see your health is low, they'll actually say, "I'm stopping for you to get health or to get mana."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
or
that's
to drink.
lovely.
Yeah, or
Mhm.
we'll give you some food. They'll tell you they'll give you some food, and when you go into the dungeon, there's a mana table down there.
hmm
Mage table to nom on. Yeah, so they really tried to make something that's very accessible and enjoyable.
That's actually one of
After
the
that,
that's
yeah.
actually one of the hints. They're like, if you need food for questing and stuff like that, just run one of the follower dungeons until you get a mage, get the food table, grab the mana buns and stuff, and then you're good.
oh, that's funny. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't reward you with any like clothing loot, so people won't be
Aw.
encouraged to do it for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you do pick up some stuff in there. So
Again, they want you to play it with regular players, but if you just need experience, just so you don't have any jitters when you're doing it with regular humans, like, just try it out.
Or you just
Yeah,
want to actually see the dungeon without the go
That too.
go people behind
Yeah.
you. You can do that.
Yeah, because the followers will wait.
Yeah.
yeah,
but,
they'll
It's also a good essentially a tech demo of what they've got planned, because Final Fantasy's had this for a while with the Scions being able to join in and fill roles, and I think this is. It's not designed to take the out of the O. It's designed again to let people try new things. Like, if you want to play a healer and you don't have 3 or 4 friends to go in and help you through a dungeon, you can go in and play the dungeon as a healer. And if the tank notices you're out of mana, the tank will stop and say, "We're stopping until you regain your mana."
which like never happens.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great way for people who are reluctant to try new things, or just unsure of their abilities to get to practice them. It's really nice.
Yep.
Second, Azerothian Archives. I kind of give a downvote. I haven't done all that much of it, and I'm going to be continuing to do it because there's some lovely transmog, but it's just not intuitive. And there's a lot of different like technical things. I don't know if you guys have tried it, but
I have, yeah, and I had no problems with it. Maybe did you try it like when it first came out? Because I did it on Friday night.
I was doing it, yesterday and today.
Yeah, I had no problems. It actually, like, if you've ever done the soup event with the Tuskar,
Yes.
it's the same. It's the same exact tech. It's just instead of a bowl of soup, you go back to a tent, and the guy's like, "We're digging through. Hey, you, why don't you go do that thing? Go do that thing. Come back."
Mhm.
And then, hey, you go. But like it worked. And while you're waiting, you work on like digging through piles of dirt to look for stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then you just keep doing it and gathering up all the points. You're basically looking for notes on things, and then once you and as you're doing so, you're also getting little tokens to get towards the transmog buying. But then at a certain point when it's over, then it'll summon the end boss, and then you just have to go over and tag the boss, and then once it dies, then you get the stuff off the boss.
My stuff was I didn't even get that far yet. I just did some of the opening things and like how you do the initial excavating things.
You're talking about the actual quest line.
Yeah.
That's
And
okay.
when you're
I
like
was talking
learning
about the
to
event.
use the things. Yeah. No, I didn't get to the event yet.
I do agree. It was definitely very unintuitive in some places. You had to I had to reread
Keep
the text
clicking
over and
everything.
over and over and again, and there's the weird thing where there's excuse me, two different styles of excavating. One was using elements, so one's a shaman, gives you a totem, says, okay, here's your elemental. Okay, now tell the element to do stuff. Oh, he's getting too hot. Okay, hit him with water. And you have to it's kind of like if you've ever done those kind of fishing or cooking things where you have to keep your little thing in the sweet spot.
Yep.
That's
that exactly. It is just what do I click on to make it go the other way?
Well, you have to stand in the puddles.
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
it doesn't explain that very well, but I just learned by walking around, and I hit a puddle and it splashed me and then went down. It's like, oh, okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep,
so
you have
to fumble your way through it, because they don't explain it very well.
Yep. And that just was kind of annoying. I really loved all of the NPCs that we deal with, though, because they were just hysterical, and I enjoyed them a lot.
I did like the other method, which was the little, the finder, the little radar, and
this is
hot or cold.
Apparently gonna replace the old archaeology profession, and I mean that
I never liked
problems.
I never liked it.
It was annoying, but I found this seemed a little more annoying at first, but I figure I'm going to get used to it because there's good enough rewards to keep at it, and it's something that they and it's got the community element to it, which Blizzard is just including with lots of things this expansion. Currently, the Super Bloom is my favorite because that's the top of every hour, and I just do it on all my characters that I can fit time for because it's fairly quick. It awards some loot and pets and lots of transmog, and it's just something that you do with lots of characters, and it comes out a little differently every time.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, because you get random powers every time you do the Super Bloom.
Yeah, those are fun too, and you can do it in different ways depending on what different kind of whether you're a tanky kind of person or different kind of DPS or how mobile you are. You can either stay with the big tree that you chase around or go far afield and gather up other stuff. So and it's a group thing. It lets people do it their own way and get together. I actually saw somebody from Core, the guilds that Scott Johnson has over there, and waved at them.
Very cool.
I don't think they had any clue who I was, but anyway. And then dragon riding has now become available everywhere in WoW where flying is possible. And there's a new racing event in Outland called the Outland Cup. And there's going to be an Outland Cup, a Northrend Cup, a Pandaria Cup, and a Broken Isles Cup in the works in coming months. And at least the Outland Cup awards a new transmog set. It looks a lot like the previous one for whatever it was in the Dragon Isles. And
Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms.
Yep.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. I was wondering why I was saying Kalimdor Cup, but yes, that's what it was. So more gear, more cool things to do, and it feels so weird going and getting on a dragon when I am in Orgrimmar, and just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they've also fixed it so that if you're in a place that only allows ground mounts, you can still use your dragon mount.
Oh,
yeah, they just rattle like glump, glump, glump.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you can switch to something else.
Yep.
Like your new Gilnean Fox.
And you will be at 80% speed. You won't notice it because you're in the old world, and dragon flying is so much faster than old flying. Yep. But it is technically 80% speed of full dragon riding in the Dragon Isles. Yeah. It's because the old worlds aren't designed for it. So they don't want you going so fast that everything's a blur.
I had kind of been like, what, 80%? Jeez, why are you nerfing us? But when I actually tried it, you just zoom and it's
just
great.
So fast. It's just and the old world is just not designed for that kind of speed.
But yep, went zooming around, quickly on things. Let me see. Did I miss anything here? Well, I think we've been talking for a long time.
I know,
So I
we're
probably
on great
did, and I'll
news.
talk about it later.
Yep.
Awesome.
Alrighty then. Well, if nothing else to add, then we will end our show for tonight. So, chat room, while you begin suggesting show titles, we want to thank Gusty for joining us. Thank you, Gusty.
You're welcome. It was
Yay!
fun to be here as always, and eventually I'll figure out what's wrong with my camera.
Yep.
Yep, we're just gonna have to go up to Manny and figure it out for you. We're fine. When
I thought
it's
you
not
just turned into
freezing.
spinning. I thought you turned into spinning cubes. That's all it was.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wanted to respect your choice.
Yeah,
Well, it's really because I've been sitting here eating Girl Scout cookies throughout the entire.
got it. You're not
So-
sharing.
I don't blame you. I need my
Mm.
fix too.
You know, Tat, what if I added a little bit of peppermint to that mocha java cake?
Ooh, that'd be good. We should try that.
Anyway, all right. So if you have questions or comments for our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us on Discord and other non-specific social media. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, whatever time it happens to be in Arizona. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org /podcast-live-stream, and look for the links in our Discord server, aie-guild.org. As for past episodes, you can see them on our YouTube channel. Go look for the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And we continue to look for AIE member segments. If you're interested, just send us a note in Discord or email. Keep it 90 to 120 seconds, and we'll include it in the show.
I was actually thinking we probably need to create a bounty and do some hunting.
There you go.
Maybe
There you go.
prod some people into giving some content. It's been far too long since we've had some good segments in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
So yeah, I'll ponder that, see if we can't get a bounty going.
Yep.
So next time we'll be talking to somebody about something, I'm sure, because we like to talk. And if you don't
do.
come join us, we're going to talk to ourselves, and you'll have to deal with that.
That too, though.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So then, until next time, AIE.
This is Gusty Tail.
This is Mewcow,
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
and this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
No, sorry, I
No.
missed it. I was supposed to be first. Whoops.
I was going to say, you're the one that started
It's
it.
your segment.
Yeah. Oh, I knew I was gonna. Yes. I just had noticed that it was supposed to be.
That's okay. It took me a few minutes. It took me a second to register that it was taking you a second, so I almost missed mine.
Well, you know what
Chain
they
reaction.
You know what they say. All right.
Utini indeed.
All right. And I like Seema's show title. Followers are better than humans.
That's
Yes.
great.
In these cases, yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, chat room, thank you as always for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream.